Where does your consciousness go when you sleep? Your sleep is a portal. Have you ever stopped to consider the sheer audacity of sleep? Every single night, without fail, you willingly surrender consciousness. You close your eyes, and the world, as you know it, dissolves. Time ceases to hold its usual rigid form. Logic takes a back seat. Familiar faces morph into strangers, and you find yourself navigating landscapes that defy the very laws of physics. Think about it. Just last night, you were probably soaring through the sky, effortlessly gliding over cities you've never seen. Or perhaps you were in a bustling marketplace from a forgotten era, bartering for goods you couldn't even name. Maybe you were having a deeply emotional conversation with someone who passed away years ago, the emotions as raw and real as if they were right there with you. And then, the alarm clock screams. Sunlight pierces through the curtains. You blink, and poof! The vibrant, immersive world vanishes. You're back in your bed, heart still racing from that chase scene, or a lingering warmth in your chest from that heartfelt reunion. But the dream itself? It's already fading, slipping through your mental fingers like grains of sand. Science, in its quest to understand everything, tells us that sleep is for a restoration. The brain, they say, needs to recharge. But if sleep is merely rest, why this elaborate nightly show? Why these intricate, emotionally charged narratives? Why does your brain, supposedly resting, become a theater of the absurd, more active in some ways than when you're actually awake? Let's look at the facts. Brain imaging reveals a fascinating truth. During REM sleep, the dream-rich phase, certain brain regions, particularly the visual and emotional centers, light up like fireworks. They become hyperactive. Meanwhile, the prefrontal cortex, the seat of logic and rational thought, dials down its activity. This neurological seesaw explains the bizarre, illogical, and intensely emotional nature of dreams. Logic sleeps, but feeling awakens. But here's the real kicker. Brain activity during REM sleep can be as high or even higher than when you are fully conscious and engaged in your waking life. How can this be rest? It's like saying your car rests by driving at top speed on a racetrack all night. Something doesn't quite add up with the simple rest explanation. Now, let's venture into slightly more unconventional territory. Have you heard of DMT, dimethyltryptamine? It's a powerful psychedelic compound, often called the spirit molecule. It's found in numerous plants, and incredibly, it's also produced naturally in your own brain. Scientists are beginning to suspect that the brain releases DMT every night, particularly as you enter REM sleep. This could be a key, or at least a key, to unlocking the dream mystery. DMT is known for inducing intensely vivid, often otherworldly experiences. Users report encounters with strange entities, journeys to fantastical realms, and profound feelings of altered reality. Sound familiar? It echoes the very nature of our dreams. Could dreams simply be DMT-induced hallucinations, elaborate chemical shows playing out in our minds? It's a compelling, albeit reductionist theory. But even if DMT plays a role, it begs a deeper question. Why would our brains naturally produce such a potent psychedelic every single night? Is it just a random byproduct of brain chemistry, or is there a more profound purpose at play? And if our consciousness can be so profoundly altered by a simple brain chemical, what does that say about the nature of our waking reality? Is what we perceive as a real just another, perhaps more filtered version of consciousness, a different setting on the dial of awareness? Let's move into even more mysterious territory. Precognitive dreams. Dreams that seem to predict the future. Sounds like something out of a science fiction movie, right? Yet, throughout history and in everyday life, people have reported dreams that eerily foreshadow future events. Think of Abraham Lincoln, who reportedly dreamed of his own assassination just days before it happened. Or consider countless ordinary individuals who dream of a person they haven't seen in years, only to bump into them the very next day. or someone dreaming of a specific event, down to minute details, which then unfolds in waking life exactly as dreamt. Science tends to dismiss these as mere coincidence, confirmation bias, or vague memories being retrofitted to events. But the sheer volume of anecdotal evidence and even some preliminary studies suggests there might be something more to it. If dreams are just random firings of neurons, how can they sometimes provide accurate glimpses into what is yet to come? Could it be that during sleep, our consciousness in some inexplicable way detaches from the linear flow of time, gaining access to information beyond the constraints of our waking perception? Is time, as we experience it, not as fixed as we believe? Now let's talk about something truly unsettling: sleep paralysis. Imagine waking up, fully conscious, mind racing, aware of your surroundings, but utterly unable to move. Your body is locked, frozen, and often accompanying this terrifying immobility is a sense of a malevolent presence, a crushing weight on your chest, shadowy figures lurking in the room. Sleep paralysis is a universally feared experience. And what's truly bizarre is that people across cultures, irrespective of their beliefs or backgrounds, often report strikingly similar hallucinations during these episodes. The shadow figures, the chest pressure, the feeling of being watched, even attacked. Why would people from completely different corners of the world, with no shared cultural context, experience such strikingly similar hallucinations? Science explains sleep paralysis as a kind of glitch, a mismatch between brain states. Your mind wakes up, but your body remains in REM-induced muscle atonia, the natural paralysis that prevents you from acting out your dreams. The hallucinations, they say, are hypnagogic or hypnopompic imagery dream remnants bleeding into waking consciousness. But again, the uniformity of these experiences, the profound sense of dread and otherness, makes you wonder. Could sleep paralysis be more than just a neurological misfire? Could it be, as some suggest, a moment where our consciousness brushes against something else? A different layer of reality, a dimension we are normally shielded from in our waking state. A brief, terrifying glimpse behind the veil? But sleep isn't all mystery and potential terror. There's also the incredible phenomenon of lucid dreaming. Most of the time, we are passive observers in our dreams, swept along by the narrative. But imagine waking up inside your dream, realizing, hey, I'm dreaming, and then taking control, shaping the dreamscape to your will. Flying effortlessly, conjuring objects, having conversations with dream figures you know are just projections of your own mind. This is lucid dreaming. Lucid dreaming is not just a fanciful idea, it's a scientifically verified state of consciousness. Studies show that during lucid dreams, the prefrontal cortex, the very region that dials down during regular dreams, becomes activated. The part of your brain responsible for self-awareness and conscious decision-making comes online, even while you are asleep. Lucid dreaming demonstrates something profound. Even in the altered state of sleep, your mind retains the capacity for conscious awareness, for volition, for mastery. It's like discovering a hidden control panel within your own consciousness. And it raises a crucial question. If dreaming is just random brain activity, why would we possess this remarkable ability to consciously navigate and manipulate our dream worlds? Is it a mere evolutionary quirk, or does it hint at a deeper potential of consciousness, a capacity to explore and even shape realities beyond the physical? Have you ever had a dream that felt like it lasted for hours, a whole epic narrative unfolding, only to wake up and realize just minutes have passed in real time? This isn't just a subjective feeling. Scientific research confirms that our perception of time is fundamentally altered in dreams. Time in the dream world is fluid, malleable, nonlinear. Studies of brain activity during REM sleep reveal that our internal clock operates differently. Lucid dreamers have even conducted experiments within their dreams, performing tasks, counting, and then comparing their dream time perception to actual elapsed time. The results are often astonishing, suggesting that time dilation, the stretching or compression of time, is a real phenomenon within the dream state. If our minds can experience time so differently in dreams, what does this tell us about the nature of time itself? Is time, as we perceive it in waking life, a fixed, objective reality? Or is it, as some physicists and philosophers suggest, a construct of consciousness? Could dreams be providing us with a glimpse into a reality where time is not a rigid, linear river, but a more flexible, perhaps even illusory, dimension? And if time is so pliable, what other fixed laws of reality might be more suggestions than unbreakable rules? Now let's take a truly mind-expanding leap. Consider the sheer detail and coherence of some dreams. Have you ever dreamt of a place you've never been, yet it felt real? Detailed architecture, consistent geography, even a palpable atmosphere. Some people even have recurring dreams of the same unknown locations, almost like living an alternate life in another world, night after night. This resonates with a mind-boggling concept from quantum physics, the multiverse theory. It proposes that our universe might not be the only one, that infinite parallel universes might exist, branching off from every quantum possibility, each one a slightly different version of reality. Could dreaming be a way for our consciousness to momentarily tune in to these alternate realities? Could those incredibly vivid and consistent dream worlds be more than just figments of our imagination? Could they be glimpses into parallel dimensions? It sounds like science fiction, I know, and mainstream science hasn't proven this, not yet. But this idea, in various forms, has existed in spiritual and philosophical traditions for centuries. Many ancient cultures believed that dreams were portals to other realms, that they allowed us to travel outside our ordinary existence. Whether it's literal travel to parallel universes or a metaphorical journey into the depths of the unconscious, the complexity and richness of our dream experiences strongly suggest they are far more than just random neural noise. Think about this frustrating phenomenon. You wake up from an incredibly powerful dream, convinced you'll remember every detail forever. But within minutes, it's fading, dissolving, becoming frustratingly elusive. Why do we forget most of our dreams so quickly? If dreams are so rich, so potentially meaningful, why does the brain seem to work so hard to erase them? One scientific explanation points to the hippocampus, the brain region crucial for memory formation. It seems the hippocampus operates differently during sleep. It doesn't encode dream experiences into long-term memory in the same way it does waking events. Some researchers believe this is because dreams serve a different purpose. They are for processing emotions, consolidating memories, problem-solving, perhaps even exploring parallel realities, but not necessarily for being remembered in the way we remember our daily lives. But another, perhaps more intriguing perspective suggests that forgetting dreams might be a form of protection. If we remembered all our dreams in vivid detail, if the boundary between dream life and waking life became too porous, our sense of reality could become profoundly blurred. Perhaps the brain filters out most dream experiences to maintain a clear distinction, to prevent us from confusing the dream world with the waking world. Yet it's also true that some dreams do stick with us, vividly for years, even decades. These persistent dreams, the ones that refuse to fade, suggest that certain dream experiences hold a deeper significance, a message that our subconscious, or perhaps something even grander, is trying to convey. Let's touch upon a common myth and a profound question. Can you die in a dream? The urban legend says that if you die in a dream, you die in real life. But countless people have experienced dream death and woken up perfectly fine, albeit perhaps shaken. So, what does dream death tell us about consciousness? Many researchers believe that dying in a dream is the mind's way of simulating profound change, of processing transformation. Dream death often symbolizes the end of something significant in your subconscious mind, an old pattern, a limiting belief, a phase of life. Those who experience dream death often report waking up with a sense of clarity, a feeling of having shed something old and being ready for something new. Neurologically, sleep and death in some ways share intriguing parallels. In both states, awareness detaches from physical reality. Bodily functions slow down. External stimuli fade into insignificance. Interestingly, near-death experiences often include sensations remarkably similar to dreams. Floating, encountering beings, panoramic life reviews, journeys through tunnels of light. Could dreams, in their temporary disconnection from physical reality, be rehearsing the mind for the ultimate disconnection? Could they be, in some way, preparing consciousness for the final transition we call death? Whether literally or metaphorically, dream death suggests that consciousness may be far less tethered to the physical body than we typically assume. Now let's broaden our perspective, stepping outside the confines of modern Western science and into the vast ocean of ancient Indian wisdom. For millennia, the Vedic tradition and its philosophical culmination in the Upanishads has deeply explored the nature of consciousness, reality, and the states of waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. The Upanishads, ancient Sanskrit texts forming the bedrock of Hindu philosophy, speak of three primary states of consciousness: Jagrat, waking state; Svapna, dreaming state; and Sushupti, deep sleep state. But they also point to a fourth state, Turiya, pure consciousness transcending all three, the ultimate reality, the ground of being. In the Jagrat state, the waking state, consciousness is outwardly directed, engaged with the physical world, perceiving through the five senses. This is the reality we typically consider real. But the Upanishads challenge this assumption. Then there's Svapna, the dream state. Here, consciousness turns inward. The external world fades and a new world created by the mind unfolds. The Upanishads recognize the vividness and reality of dreams even if they are not real in the waking sense. They saw dreams as a crucial window into the nature of consciousness itself. And then, Sushupti, deep dreamless sleep. In this state, there is no perception of the external world, no dream narratives. Consciousness seems to recede, to merge into a state of undifferentiated unity. Modern science might see this as simply unconsciousness. But the Upanishads viewed Sushupti as a profound state of rest and potential, a temporary merging with the ultimate reality. But it is the fourth state, Turiya, that holds the deepest significance. Turiya is not just another state of consciousness alongside waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. It is the underlying reality that supports and transcends all three. It is pure consciousness itself, unconditioned, unbound, the source from which all states arise and into which they ultimately dissolve. The Upanishads describe Turiya as Atman Brahman, the self that is one with the ultimate reality, Brahman, the ground of all existence. It is described as blissful, peaceful, non-dual, beyond description, beyond thought. It is the true nature of consciousness obscured in our waking and dreaming states by the limitations of the mind and senses. And here's the radical idea. The Upanishads suggest that the states of sleep, particularly deep sleep, and the dream state can be seen as portals to Turiya. They are not Turiya itself, but they offer glimpses, hints, and pathways towards this ultimate reality. They are moments when the veil thins, when the ordinary constraints of waking consciousness loosen, allowing us to brush against something far deeper and more profound. So, how can we use this ancient wisdom to deepen our understanding of consciousness and sleep? The Vedic tradition and later Buddhist traditions developed sophisticated practices, often called dream yoga, aimed at consciously exploring the dream state and even using it as a pathway to spiritual awakening. These practices involve techniques like dream recall, diligently recording your dreams to enhance memory and awareness; lucid dream induction, using specific techniques to recognize you are dreaming and gain conscious control; and even deeper practices aimed at transforming the dream state itself, using it as a laboratory for exploring the nature of reality and consciousness. Think of sleep not just as a passive state of rest, but as an active practice, a nightly opportunity to explore the inner landscapes of your consciousness. By cultivating awareness in our waking lives, by practicing mindfulness and meditation, and by intentionally engaging with our dreams, we can begin to unlock the hidden potential of sleep. Perhaps the next time you drift off to sleep, you can do so with a new sense of wonder. Instead of seeing sleep as simply switching off, consider it as entering a portal to inner worlds, to altered states of consciousness, perhaps even to glimpses of deeper realities. Your dreams are not just random brain activity. They are messages from your subconscious, reflections of your inner world, and potentially something far more profound. Sleep paralysis, while terrifying, might be a jarring reminder of the boundaries of our waking perception. Lucid dreaming reveals the incredible potential for conscious awareness even in altered states. And the fleeting nature of dream time hints at the fluidity of reality itself. The mystery of consciousness during sleep is far from solved. But by combining the insights of modern science with the wisdom of ancient traditions, by exploring our own dream experiences with curiosity and intention, we can begin to unravel this profound enigma. And in doing so, we might just unlock deeper truths about ourselves, about consciousness, and about the very nature of reality. So, tonight, as you close your eyes and everything fades, remember, your sleep is not just sleep. It is a doorway. Dare to explore it. Dare to dream consciously. Dare to ask, where does your consciousness go when you sleep? And what might you discover in those uncharted territories of the night?